let's talk about conditional sentences. Conditional sentences. So conditional sentences are sentences with if, right? So if I pass, I will be happy. If it rains, I will use an umbrella, right? If. Actually, you probably already use conditional sentences, but I will tell you more about them. I want to tell you about two kinds. Actually, yeah, two main kinds. There are real and number two, unreal. Real and unreal. So there are two major kinds. First we have real, right? Real. Inside this group, we have two kinds. Right? Let's do the first one. This is for general truths. Right? General truths. Things that are always true. Right? Always, 100% of the time true. Maybe things about science. Or things about habits. Right? Habits that people have. If it's always true, it's this one, right? Number one. I'll give you an example. This one is about science. It's a scientific fact. You can make a sentence like this. If water gets too cold, it freezes. If water gets too cold, it freezes. This is the cause. This is the effect. And it's always true, right? If water gets really, really cold, it becomes ice, right? It freezes. So, this is about something real. I'm talking about the real world. This is real life. And also, it's generally true. Right? It's like always true. And in this situation, you use the present, right? Present tense in the first part with if. And you use the present tense in the last part, in the result, right? The consequence. Right? Present. I'll give you another example. This one is about habits, right? Habits that are always true. You could say, like, my father, right? If my father is angry, he yells, right? He speaks in an angry voice. And it's always true, every time, right? If my father is, present tense, angry, he yells, present tense. So if it's science, if it's a fact, if it's always true, you can use present. There's another situation which is possible, right? Real and possible. In this situation, it's maybe not always true, but it's possible, right? It could happen. It might happen. I'll give you an example. Like right now, it's very sunny. It's a very sunny day. But if later it snows, which is possible, I will wear a coat. Let's write that sentence. If it snows, I will wear a coat. So it's not always true, right? It doesn't always snow, but it might snow. So in this situation, we use the present, right? If with the present. And then in the result, in the consequence, we actually have the future, right? We have the future with will. And actually, sometimes other modals can be the future. It's okay to say can, right? If it snows, I can wear a coat, or I might wear a coat. So you can use other words. Usually we use will, right? Present, future, right? These are for real things, the real world. But we also have situation 2, unreal. Oh my God. Unreal. So this is not true, right? This is just when you talk about dreams and things in your imagination, right, that are not real. For example, I am a very poor man. Right? Not really, but let's pretend. I'm a poor man, but if I had $1 million, I would buy 3 houses, right? If I had $1 million right now, I would buy 3 houses. Right? One in New York, one in Chicago, one in Los Angeles. Right? Actually, $1 million might not be enough. Maybe not enough money. Anyway, this is not real. I do not have $1 million. This is just a dream in my mind, right? This is my imagination. So if it's not true, actually, you should use the past, right? Had. This is actually the past. And then, at the end, in the result, right, the consequence, you can say some kind of modal. Really, you should say would, or could, or might, right? Would, or could, or might. And so that's it. One confusing thing is that I'm actually talking about the present. I'm saying if I had $1 million right now. I'm talking about the present, but I still use a past verb. I use a past verb. And there's one other thing that's a little difficult. If you want to say be, a be verb right here, you have to say were. You cannot use was. Right? No was in the unreal. Let me give you an example. So I am a person. Right? I'm a person. I'm a human being. But what if I were a dog? What if I were a bird? Right? If I were a bird, I would fly. I would fly. Of course, this is unreal, right? Not real. I'm not a bird. But if I were a bird, I would fly. Right? This is just in my mind. I want you to see, again, here's the past. Right? Here's the past. And at the end, again, we have some modal, and it's usually would, or could, or might. Would, or could, or might. But, like I said, there's one difficult thing. If you want to say be, you have to say were. Right? There's no was. Right? Unreal conditional sentences do not have was. You have to say if I were, if he were, if she were. Right? If I were a doctor, I would help people. If she were Bill Gates, she would be rich. Right? She is not Bill Gates. I am not a doctor. It's all imaginary, and we all have were. Yeah. So that's it. Real, unreal, and then these 3 situations. That's all.